So it would kind of benefit you to work on 2 at a time, or if you're really ambitious, 3 or 4. That way, as things are drying, you can keep working. Okay, I'm trying to find out where to put this wire so no one chews it. Okay, for this one, I got all the stickers down. The glue I had to use seems to be dry. Oh, is this sticker coming up too? Come on. Yeah, it's dry. All right. No, this one's more of a landscape, so I wasn't going to use a text background on this one anyhow, and I was thinking along those lines, and that's why I goofed on the other page and didn't put the text background behind my ephemera. So, but this page, I didn't want any, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my fine liners. This is the 3, yeah. And I'm just going to add some rough detail so her little fairy wings, you know, are more obvious. I'm not going to do a solid line everywhere, just every once in a while, and it's going to be really a loose line and kind of scribbly, because it already has much of a cookie cutter look to it, and you don't really want to emphasize that look, you know, but it's kind of adds a little whimsy charm to it. I just love this little girl. I just had to include her. Let's see. I'm not going to outline the flowers or the tree or the sun. I'm going to leave that all as is. And then I'll want to put some wording here, and I'll probably, instead of cutting out text, I'll probably just write something in there. But, you know, you can get text from a magazine and cut out individual words and make up your own message, kind of like a ransom note, but instead of individual letters, you're using words and even phrases. So I'll probably just write something. I don't think, well, let me look at my phrase stickers. Let me grab those. Oh, hey, Bluey. My cat's over here. I almost stepped on her head. Blue. All right, my stickers are right here. Okay, journal just flew out of my shelf as I pulled my stickers out. But these are the Tim Holtz ideology, or ideology. I don't know how he pronounces it. I got a few of them. I got all these off of Amazon. Let's see, this one is 2. They made a mistake. I got these from 2 different sellers, and one of the sellers sent me 2 copies of the Snarky and Pertinent, and I was like, yes. So let's see, which one was I using? I don't want to do a snarky one for this one, I don't think. These are white, black, and gold, and then these are, of course, vintage looking, and these are black and white. So what kind of look do I want? First of all, I decide on the look before I even start to look at the phrases, because once you start to thumb through these things, it takes a while. And I will put that on fast forward, so you're not sitting here for an hour like I'm going to be sitting here for an hour trying to figure out the perfect phrase to put over here. Already, I don't like this look. It would compete with the sun image. So it's going to be one of these. It's going to be this one. See, I eliminated 3 sticker books of phrases just like that. And that's how you got to do it. And you got to make your decisions fast, on a dime. You don't want to sit here and work on this all day. It's not the type of project to do that for. You know, it's just, you're just having some fun, just killing some time and expressing yourself creatively. Then you go through and read every single phrase and try to narrow it down to about the perfect 5 or 10, and then from there get it down to 1 or 2, and then stick it on your page. All right, 30 minutes later, and I found these phrases. This doesn't mean I'm going to use all of them. But I have the air is full of sunlight, brightly shine, the flowers appear on the earth, she stood her ground, the summer sun shines, she was a strange little girl. I definitely want to use she was a strange little girl because I was a strange little girl, at least in other people's opinions. My teachers and kids at school all thought I was kind of weird. I'm going to cut this down, and don't be afraid to cut up your phrases to get them to fit into your mixed media piece better. And they don't have to go on there perfect, and plus we're going to be going around them with fine liners or something. Maybe a jelly roll, something to make the text pop a little bit. And she was a strange little girl. I wonder if this will fit on the forehead. Just about. I'm going to trim it down as far as I can without taking off part of a letter. I just love these scissors. I nearly stab myself every single time I use them, but I really love them. I'm going to cut off that period. I don't need it. Okay. Oh my gosh, come on. I'm not just throwing the stuff on the floor. I've got a trash can off to my left here. Although sometimes I do throw stuff on the floor, but, you know, I pick it up eventually. Whoa. Oh, don't turn on me. Oi. Okay, where'd that go? Here it is. Perfect. All right. Okay, where'd the rest of them go? I've got the air is full of sunlight. I'm not going to use that because I've already got, well, I don't know, I might. The flowers appear on the earth. She stood her ground. The summer sun shines. Definitely want to say something about the flowers. I don't need the. And again, I don't need the period. Oh no, it's a semicolon. Don't need that either. Oh no. Okay, there we go. All right, flowers appear on the earth. I am going to cut this up. I'm just trying to decide. Okay, come on, don't stick to my table. Thank you. Yes, Bluey, what do you want? She's over here pawing my leg. Oops, too far over. Okay. There's that. All right, where'd my, okay, it's right here. She stood her ground, the summer sun shines, and the air is full of sunlight. Okay, I'm not going to use she stood her ground. The air is full of sunlight. I like that. I'll put it right here. And again, I'm going to add some embellishing around that with pens or something. And that's going to be it. I'm not going to use these two. I'll have to fit them back into the sticker book later. So there's the text for this. And then what I want to do is get my fine liner. This is the number 3 Copic multi-liner. And I'm just going to draw, again, some broken lines and some dashes. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just doing this to add some character to it, you know? And I'm going to get my white gel pen here. And I'm going to test it out on a piece of scrap paper. I want to make sure it's clean. I was using this against a watercolor background, and since watercolor remains water soluble even when it's on your paper, this type of pen will activate the watercolor, so it'll get tinted. So that's why I'm making sure it's clean. And I'm just doing a little heart. And I will probably outline that with something. Gold, probably. Underlined the word sunlight. It's not showing up too well. Trust me, it's there. My camera is probably, my phone I mean, is probably not picking it up. Okay. Then you got to decide, do you want to follow the same style for the other text blocks, or do you want to do something different? I would do the same style just because it brings cohesiveness to your piece, and it's going to help to kind of pull it together. So I start here on the right-hand side. I'll do the same thing, just some wonky, dashy outlines. And I always start on the right because I'm lefty. And us lefties are infamous for smudging stuff. Okay, so those are now wonkily outlined, wonkily. I just create my own vocabulary on the fly here. And I'm going to do another heart here. This one will show up better against the brown background. And I'm going to do a little flower here. Doodle. And I'm going to do one here. Okay, and this is going to have some dots. I just love these pens. They are so awesome. And they are completely opaque. You see that? They are blotting out that Copic liner behind them. I do. Well, that didn't turn out right. Kind of looks like a spider. I'll turn it into some sort of wispy flower. And there we go with that. Make sure again the tip is remaining clean. And then we'll do these phrases over here. And then I will pretty much, you know, at that point you can stop. You can add more, and you'll see people with their mixed media add all sorts of stuff and layer upon layer and tons of acrylic paint and all that. I don't like to do that, because once you cover something up and you can't see it, even though you as the artist know it's there, what's the point? And to me, you're just wasting your art supplies. All right, husband interrupted me. I am now back. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to outline this little white heart in black, because you just can't see it up there. And then I'm going to fake one here. Okay, and now over here, where's my white pen? And I need to find my gold gel pen, because I want to outline the tree in gold. I think that would be pretty. Again, I'm just going to do some random white dots. And I mean, look at this ink. It just obliterates the Copic. That's so awesome. Underline strange. And let's see. I do just one flower over there. That's our garage door. Please excuse it. My husband just never understands that garage door is loud as heck. And my studio is right over the garage, so that's why it sounds like there's an earthquake happening or something. Okay, let's see. I need my gold pen. Do I have it? Nope. Let me find it. Okay, now I'm going to outline the tree with a Jelly Roll metallic in gold. I do not know the nib size of this pen, but I'm just going to go around and give it a gold border all the way around. I'm going to also outline the fairy's wings in gold. I should have probably done that and then added the black outline, but I think I can get it around her wings to where I'm not obscuring the black ink. I did it! Yay! I think I want to kind of give her a little halo. Is she a fairy or is she an angel? You decide. The viewer decides. I gotta tilt it and make sure that the halo is solid. Yeah, I thought I left a gap. There. Yeah, she's coming up. I need adhesive. I swear, these are supposed to be stickers. Stickers are supposed to be sticky. Oh my gosh. Ooh, she's coming up pretty bad here. Wow. So much for this sticker. She just keeps coming off the page here. Okay. How about over here? Is this going to come up too? No, that's on there good. Okay. Weird. Alrighty, so I think this is, no, I wanted to do one more thing. I wanted to really make the sun pop. So I was going to put some Decocolor liquid gold on it. Acrylic markers, you do have to shake them to activate them. They have little marbles in there that mix up the paint inside the marker. And then you activate the tip. I always try out the tip first because, yeah, it's a little dry. 9 times out of 10, they still have a little bit of paint on them I can use. And then, let's see, where am I going to put it? I'll just put it inside, right on the blue here. And I'm just going to outline him. And then I'm going to call this one done. And then we'll take a look at the other one and finish that one up. What I'm going to be doing, I have realized my videos for my channel run long. I am going to be cutting them up into shorter videos and uploading them as new videos. So you'll have the long version and the short versions. And I'll go through into the description of the long versions and will post the links for the short versions. And I'm hoping that will help with people who don't have all day to sit and watch a video. I know I don't have all day either. I mean, the prime video length is like 15 minutes. Yeah, try doing this in 15 minutes. Even on, even by speeding it up, you're not going to get through this in 15 minutes. But I hope those of you who are watching the whole thing, first of all, thank you so very, very much for that. I hope you're enjoying it and finding the video to be calming and soothing. And I hope that I give you some good ideas of what you can do in your own journals. But this piece is now done. And then what I do is I take my fine liner and I date it. And I forget what the date is today. I got my iPad right here. Let me tap it. Wednesday, March 18th of 2026. And I'll just put the date very tiny. All right. Now we're going to finish off the other one. But here is this one. All done. I like the way the gold balances the whole page. But there's this one. Done. Again, this is an Archer and Olive notebook, and my affiliate code for 10% off at archerandolive.com is below in the description. I very much appreciate your support. Let me see where I can set this where I'm not going to get dog or cat hair all over it. Ha ha ha. And here is the other page. Now for this one, over here I was circling words. And what I want to do now is tear those words out and glue them down on the page. Maybe. No, I think first what I want to do is do some stars. Since we've got a bird here and it looks all celestial, I'm going to do some stars. I just realized I'm developing a Texan accent. I don't like it. I'm originally from Illinois. I don't like living in Texas. It is like, I'm in Houston and they're really conservative here. And no offense to anyone who's conservative, but it just kind of drives me crazy. And I'm just taking my gel pen. Giving this composition some large stars. And then I'm going to do smaller ones. Alright, where's my white? Now this may pick up the watercolor ink. I don't know if, I think these things do remain water soluble. Now what I could have done before adding the ephemera, I could have spattered white paint on this for the stars and it would have looked really random. But then of course you have no control. And you know, spattering is cool and it's pretty and all that, but when you don't have control over it, it can get excessive very quickly. So I like to kind of put in some controlled, what I call controlled stars, which is what I'm doing here. And then I'll go through with my pen and just tap it on the page. That gives me smaller stars and it makes the sky a bit more random. Last summer, my husband and I went on vacation in West Texas. Huge mistake. It was hot as hell there. But one cool thing was I got to see the night sky without any light pollution. We were in Marfa, Texas, which is by Alpine, Texas, and it's near the Big Bend National Park. And we were there in my then brand new Subaru Crosstrek, which has a sunroof with the roof open looking up at the stars. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. And see, now I'm just doing teeny tiny. Those stars are further away. Oh look, here's a planet because I goofed. There we go, the edge of a planet. Or maybe it's a moon. Oh yeah, let's do a moon. Yay! Okay. But yeah, and we were in Marfa because there's a phenomena there called the Marfa lights. They don't always appear, and they're visible mainly on this cattle herder's ranch along the horizon line, and they're just these weird lights that appear randomly. And there is a highway back through there, but these are not car lights. That's been debunked, that theory. And these lights have been seen since the time of the Native Americans. So before any Europeans reached America and before there was any electricity. No one knows what causes them. There's a theory, it's some sort of barometric atmospheric phenomena. But what was interesting on the night we went to see them, first of all, like I said, they don't appear every night. But the night that we went, as I was taking pictures of them, because they did appear for us, and we were really lucky. My mother-in-law told me later on, they only appear like a few times a year. We had no idea. We thought we'd just be able to go see them, you know, but it turned out that way. And in one of my pictures, you can see an orb. And then in other pictures where I zoomed in on the Marfa lights, you know, blew up the picture after I, you know, took it, because I was only taking them with my iPhone 15. They look like orbs. They look like spirit orbs. And I think maybe that's what they are. I don't know. But then again, January of 2025, and it was exactly January the 18th, because I looked at the file on my phone to see the date. I saw a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, from my backyard. And we live 45 minutes from NASA. So I just assumed, oh, it's something NASA just launched, or it's a satellite, or, you know, whatever. Well, it came back the next night. And the night after that, all at around 7:30 at night. And so here I am filming it, you know, going, what in the heck is this? And then I didn't see it again. Fast forward a year, okay, to the day. It was the 18th. I was watching the Bears in the playoffs, because I'm originally from the Chicago area. And I let my dog out to do her thing. And it's, again, right around 7:30. And I look in that part of the sky. It's there again. And so I start filming it. It was the weirdest thing. But if you want to see more about that, check out my channel, True Tales of the Paranormal, if you're into paranormal stuff. Because I have got over 50 videos over there now. And they are all 100% true. Because I've been a magnet for the weird since I was literally a baby. There is one experience I share on that channel that dates back to when I was 6 months old. And the only reason I know about it is because my mom and my aunt, it used to be one of those stories that they'd repeat, you know, at every holiday meal. Oh, you remember the time when JFK was assassinated? Of course, no one ever forgets that if you were alive at that time. It scarred a generation. That's when it happened. And I was only 6 months, and I was in my crib. So that's a true story. Check it out on my channel, True Tales of the Paranormal. And maybe give me a subscribe over there, too. I'm going to outline this bird. I'm going to do him... Well, I don't think the white is going to show up against this yellow. Yeah, it's not going to really show up. I'll use the gold. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to glue a few of those words on here now that I've done the background. And then this piece will also be finished. I hope that you're enjoying watching my process. I hope the video isn't too long. I hope some of you are still here watching. And if you are, please drop a bird emoji in the comments below to let me know you've made it this far into the video. I would appreciate knowing. It also helps me with my analytics and to figure out if I should still do super long videos or if I should really focus on filming shorter videos or just chopping these up into shorter videos. That would help me so much, and I would really appreciate it. And I'm going to do a little gold around her head, because I've got words here like spirit and integrity. You know, this represents someone who acts from a place of integrity and has what I would call a refined spirit. So there we go. A little bit of gold just to give her a little bit of punch there. And now I'm going to go back to my words. And this paper is so brittle, I can just like take my nail and start a rip in it. And tear right around this word. Hopefully not tear into the word God. There we go. Look at that. Yay. There's one. Higher power. Definitely got to use that one. And again, just carefully rip. Take your time. There's higher power. Checking my phone to make sure the battery hasn't died. Okay, intuition. You know, everyone's intuitive. Everyone. That's our birthright. Our intuition is our connection to God or to the divine, whichever terminology you prefer, or the universe. And our intuition will never steer us wrong. The trick with our intuition is you've got to learn to trust it and not second guess it. When I second guess my intuition, disaster usually follows. Or not disasters, but like major screw-ups or, you know, delays and things of that nature. Imagine. That is such a great song, Imagine, by John Lennon. I'm a huge Beatles fan, but my favorite Beatle isn't John, it's Paul. And I have seen Paul McCartney in concert 6 times. I still can't believe I managed to see him 6 times in my lifetime. But yes, first time I saw him was 1989, and I went with my parents and my 3 best friends. And these are lifelong friends that I've had, lifelong. And the tickets were $28 each to see Paul McCartney in 1989 at Rosemont Horizon outside of Chicago. And we all bitterly complained about that $28. We really did. After the concert, most amazing concert I'd ever seen. Nobody was complaining. We were all like, that's the best $28 we've ever spent. And now look, I took my daughter. The last time I saw Paul was in 2022 up in Fort Worth, Texas. Took my daughter. My daughter begged and begged me. She really wanted to go. And she'd seen him once before in 2012. And she was 14 at the time. She was so busy crying during the whole concert. I'm not sure how much of it she was able to see. But, so I took her, and, 2 things. Number one, she has severe anxiety, and because of the anxiety, it's caused an eating disorder. She feels like her insides shake when her anxiety gets bad, and then she can't eat because then she, you know, she feels like she's going to puke. She doesn't actually puke, though. But the pandemic hit, you know, and she was up in Dallas at college at the time. And she just became severely depressed. She had to go to, all of her classes went to online classes. And she has another condition called Ehrlich syndrome, which is a disconnect between the eyeball and the optic nerve. As you're reading, it makes the words look like they're moving along, like an undulating snake, or sometimes they'll flip around, and it's not dyslexia. It's something different, and the words will just move. And she had compensated for that all these years, maintained an A average, so we never knew until she started with the anxiety and insomnia. It all hit when she reached puberty. So when she asked to go see Paul, and tickets were $600 a piece, and I was telling her, hey, for that much, we could go to London. Round trip. And she's like, I really want to see him just one more time. Please, Mom, please. You know, how can I say no to that sweet little face? She was 20, how old was she at the time? She was 21 at the time. So I took her. And, you know, like I said, she's had problems eating since she was like about 14 years old. And after that, she still has the anxiety, and sometimes she has some issues being able to eat because of it, but she has put on weight. She was at her worst. She's a little bit taller than I am, so I want to say she's probably 5'4". She was down to 98 pounds when she was in college up in Dallas, and she had to withdraw and come home because of the anxiety and the pandemic and having to take her classes online, and that messed with the Ehrlich syndrome, and so it made everything, you know, her situation so much worse for her. It was either withdraw or not eat and die, basically. So she came home and no one argued. Nope, nobody argued with that. She didn't come home. She moved here. She was engaged at the time. They are now married. So they got an apartment here in town about 15 minutes from us and 5 minutes from the in-laws. And that's where they've been. And they'll have their second wedding anniversary in October. But ever since then, she's been eating good. And she now weighs, what she told me she weighed the other day? I think it was 124. So that's pretty much right about where she should be. When she started with her problem, she was 128 pounds. So when the eating disorder got really bad. Yeah, so she's almost regained all her lost weight. So we are really proud of her. And she has decided, she was going to college to learn graphic design. And since that didn't work out, she is now a freelance artist and a card reader, like her mom. Can you believe it? I still can't believe it. And she makes more money than I do. Her business, she runs it all through Twitter, through X. I can't stand it over there. I just find it way too toxic. So I stay away, but she deals with it, and she has a bunch of clients and everything, and they keep her busy. So we're proud of how well she's doing now, but it was a long haul. It really was. But that concert was a major turning point for her. So I'm fond of saying, yeah, that concert may have cost as much as 2 round-trip tickets to London, but guess what? Best money I've ever spent. To see her turn to me after the concert was over with the biggest smile on her face, and that poor girl had not smiled in I don't know how long, at least not in my presence. That, to me, was worth the $1,400 with fees and gas and hotel room that concert cost me. Oh, it was so worth it. So after that, now I say the best money I have ever spent was $1,400 to see Paul in 2022. You know, that crazy man wants to tour again. He says he's going to have another U.S. tour. I'm like, how old is he now? Let's see, I'm 63. No, I'm not 63. How old am I? I'm 62. He's 83. I mean, come on. But, you know, he enjoys it. He likes being out with his fans. And I'm sure the high he gets from the energy from the crowd just cannot compare to anything, you know? So, more power to him, but I won't ever go see him again because I doubt, first of all, I don't think his voice is not holding up well, unfortunately. He still sounded really good when we saw him. The night that we saw him, he, no, I want Golder, I want to do White. His voice was in fine form the night we saw him. Now, I did see online some people complaining that he should just hang it up because his voice is gone now and he can no longer sing, but that night in Waco was good. And I think if you search on YouTube, you can find some videos of that particular concert. There's a channel here in Houston. It's called Dead Mike, I think. And he posts a lot of Houston concerts. Well, I think he was up in Waco because I think some of these videos are on his channel. So if you wanted to see, you could go check him out. But, or just search on YouTube, Paul McCartney Concert 2022, Waco, Texas. And you'll find it. But yeah, the smile on my daughter's face, you know, it was just incredible. I wanted to cry. I was so happy. She was so happy. So again, best money I ever spent, but it was a hell of a lot of money for me, let me tell you. Especially, you know, when you don't make very much to begin with. I would do it all again. In a heartbeat. So this piece is pretty much done. And I don't think I'm going to do anything else to it. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed my video. Again, I'm sorry it's like 5 hours long, but of course I'm going to edit it down. But it literally is, before I edit it, 5 hours. I've been working on these 2 pages, but I've so much enjoyed it. Thank you for the opportunity to have some fun with you today. I hope you had fun watching this. I hope you learned something. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. And I am 𝗫𝗫 𝗪𝗃𝗃, the Positive Vibes artist, wishing you a blessed day ahead.